oats milk latte drinking, avocado toast eating.
Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
Can I take cocaine with my spouse?
No, sir. No, sir.
I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut.
I'm not talking about buying it, but let's suppose I came in one day and the cocaine was there.
People who are bilingual, they speak English and stupid. I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. Looks like we're giving Lindsay Lohan the keys to the minibar. President Biden is sort of like Kevin Bacon at the end of Animal House, the cantina bar scene out of Star Wars. They wanted it like Ben wants J-Lo. I'm like Bluto in Animal House. I'm just fat, drunk, and stupid. Frankly, I can't because I can't get my head that far up my rear end. Stick it up their fact checker. They can kiss my ass. Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce. Okay? We cannot run the greatest economy by putting fairy dust and unicorn urine in our cars. Urinate to get off the pot. My car doesn't run off fairy dust. My car doesn't run off unicorn urine. The spending porn on pet projects, it's just chock full of spending porn. There's an enormous amount of spending porn. Next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead, call a criminal, call a meth head.
It must suck to be that dumb.
I don't mean disrespect, but the mayor needs to take her meds.
Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
Okay, let's see who arrives now. This guy, they say he's the president of Finland, looking like the captain of a cruise ship. We need to get him a captain's hat later on. Okay, who the fuck is this guy? These Europeans all look like accountants. Yes, sir. I come to do your taxes. Okay, thank you, sir. Ah, the British Prime Minister. They say this guy is gay. I don't know if that's true or not. I just think he's a dork. Hey, this guy is definitely gay, and his wife is a man, and she beats him. Well, poor guy. Huh? Georgia Maloney. I love her. I told her and Elon that if they ever have a kid, they better name him Eloni Maloney. Ursula. I like that she calls me daddy. They all should when you think about it. Good day. I come to see my American daddy. Yes, thank you very much.
Notes from the Mike Barra and Jen podcast today. Please refer to the actual video attached for the references to the info Mike is giving. Mike. The news. Now, normally Mike does not refer to news articles, but in this case I will refer to a couple of news articles that he finds very interesting. He also got a news update from his main contact. He will look at it later to see what is going on. Please watch the video to see the article Mike is referring to from the Iraqi News Agency, an official source. Referring to a couple of news articles, one of which is from the central bank governor stating, "We are witnessing external transfers of all major currency with high flow." A news article posted in the Jen and Mike Barra chat today. Mike interprets what the head of the Central Bank of Iraq has said earlier today as that we are pinging almost all other nations that we, meaning Iraq, is doing business with. We are sending currency back and forth to all major currency-holding nations that we are doing business with. What they are telling you is that they have completed their tests, and the only thing left to do to finish this process is to revalue the Iraqi currency. So everything has been done. They are telling you this test has been completed and things are moving smoothly or fluidly depending on the translation one uses. Mike. The only piece of inside information he can tell you is that he will remind us again that the Federal Reserve meeting at Jackson Hole, Wyoming takes place tomorrow in the afternoon. Here's what we know. We think we know that dinars have been transferred from the United States to Kurdistan. Kurdistan is now in the process of sending that money to Baghdad. The United States did not give away those dinars of 1,310 per dinar. They received 3.47, 28.50, or whatever the agreed upon rate is. Kurdistan is now going to turn around and send that to Baghdad. Baghdad is going to take that in, they will shred that and write that off their books. The Central Bank of Iraq just explained that they are testing currency exchanges with every major country. Almost all of them, but that could be a translation issue. But it means the tests have been successful, so we are ready to go, is what they're saying. And we have a deadline. It is believed that things would be better if everything happened before the meeting opens in Jackson Hole, Wyoming tomorrow. Because should they come out with a rate, let's say on Monday, it will make the Federal Reserve people look really bad. Because what this meeting is all about on Jackson Hole is this meeting is them dictating the path of the Federal Reserve for the next year, until next year's meeting. In other words, they are saying, this is what we are going to do with the currency, with money supply, with the banks. Now, if they were to not know this revaluation is coming, they would look like idiots on Monday when it came. So it is better to have them absorb this change in currency values into the existing markets and into the existing system. It is better they know about that before the meeting convenes. The meeting ends on Saturday, and what usually happens at the end of these meetings is a statement is made as to what was discussed, what was agreed, and how they will go forward into the next year. The date on Saturday is August 23rd. Mike states that all the above he stated was not given to him by anyone, and if it happened to coincide with other people's info/intel, it was purely coincidental. Jen, it sounds like Pres Trump made some kind of deal. They are holding a certain amount of dinar and know they are about to revalue. TIE 4B has a lot of dinar, as do other tiers. So what happens when people exchange? So they don't care about the dinar they were already holding. He used that as leverage, sold it back, got some money, probably put it in a coffer and used it for something else. Between countries, the rates are high, so then they say we are going to revalue and do the exchange. The RV process/treasury, so when they take your dinar and they give you a rate, what do the exchange centers do? They sell back to the treasury. Now the treasury has all this dinar flooding in, and they will sell it back to Iraq, and they will make a country rate off of it, and everyone makes money off of it. So if they did that, they are sure that they will have a lot of dinar flooding in and a lot of other currencies flooding in, which they will be selling back to other countries. This is a good sign. We are on our way. As far as tomorrow in Jackson Hole, the only thing Jen sees is that someone took a big rubber stamp and stamped something. That is all Jen knows, but that is a very good sign if that is true. Mike, we do not know if the vague translation makes this true. Mike asks Jen if those 120 billion dinar that went to Kurdistan came from the United States. Jen was told not to answer that. It is okay for us to speculate and have our opinions. Jen says that if that is true, then they know they will have a lot more flooding in, or they have had a lot more flooding in and they have a lot more dinar than we think. Mike, where did Kurdistan get 120 billion dinar? Jen, angels tell her not to answer. Mike, so we are in a good spot for several weeks. Mike feels like the meeting of the Federal Reserve in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, is where the pressure is. Remember August 23rd, Matria, maybe, God wins. It sure feels like it should be this August 23rd for God winning, paraphrased. Jen says Jesus told her that in 2022. But if this were told to us in 2022 that it would be 2025, would you all have given up and jumped off a cliff? Jen does not know if this is the case or true. Now, at that time, this is a theory, paperwork did circulate through certain channels about countries officially signing up for DSARA. It was dated August 23rd, 2022. So that could have already been satisfied, but if they had 3 years to get this done, it could be August 23rd, 2025. God wins. Let's see. Mike, I just don't see how it's a coincidence that this major financial meeting of the Federal Reserve, which has to go gold back, is ending on August 23rd. It is finishing on the 23rd, and usually at the end of the summer. Jen, it takes a long time to set these things up, and if they had 3 years to get it done since August 23rd, 2022, and they ran it down to the last minute, and you have within 3 years to do this, it is a possibility. Transcribed by Carpathia, admin for the Chosen Ones on Telegram.
He is obviously not in good standing with the American people. Terrible. And I want you to kind of riff on that. And part of it, there's 3 types of problems just off the top of my head. The first of which is one of the most sinister, which is story selection or the crime of silence. It's the stories they don't cover. And it's not even that they're covering things incorrectly at times. It's what they then profile as top breaking news. So they're propagandizing you not just always by the essence of what they're saying, but always just like, hey, focus on this and don't focus on that.
As we sit here today, most of media is still controlled by people who fundamentally have no problem with misleading you. In 2004, when George W. Bush ran for re-election, 51% of Americans had either a great deal or a fair amount of trust in the media. Today, that number is 31%. And 36% told the Gallup poll they have no trust whatsoever. So more people have no trust in the media than have a great deal or a fair amount combined. So Charlie is right. Trust has totally collapsed. And this is one of the reasons I think Trump has been successful. He has been the one person who's smart enough and strong enough to just finally call it what it is. These are narratives. This is propaganda. This is not true. What you're being told is not true.
No, that's bull. That's nonsense. We need some fresh ideas. Better, stronger, and effective. Oh, God, I'm so tired.
RT International.
Well, guys, things must be moving. I was contacted quite urgently this evening and requested that I renew my role as Senior MedBed Educator and Venusian High Council Liaison, effective immediately. In just a few short hours, I will be signing that contract once again. I will be stationed here on Earth to assist and oversee the rollout and education of the MedBed program. We are at the tipping point of the RV and MedBeds. According to whispers, President Putin is preparing a gift unlike any other for the First Lady, a rare Romanov-era emerald ring, framed in a dazzling cluster of diamonds. But could this be that emerald? The one said to have been smuggled out by the Romanov family during the chaos of the Bolshevik Revolution? If Melania Trump were to unveil this heirloom at the White House, would it be a subtle yet unmistakable signal that she and President Trump now hold the reins of global power for the good of the people? The history runs deep. The Romanovs, who once stood against the Rothschild plan for world control, were savagely executed. Grand Duchess Vladimir, however, managed to spirit her jewels out of Russia. Among them was the legendary Vladimir tiara, later purchased by Queen Mary of the UK, instead of being returned to its rightful heirs. For decades, Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth II flaunted the emerald tiara, a silent emblem of control. Now, the circle may be closing. The emerald, a jewel tied to both tragedy and sovereignty, returns to the Romanov lineage through Melania Trump herself. Is this the final chapter in a century-old saga? Or the unveiling of the true Emerald City behind the curtain? History, power, and destiny are converging. The world is watching. Confirmed during the Bruce call, thebigcalluniverse.com. Bruce got a call saying the war with Ukraine is over. Yay! Also, in order for NESARA to work for Americans, and also the RV, revaluation of currencies, this had to happen. So it's finally over, peeps. Time to celebrate. He wasn't playing. Trump put it to them. And now, well, now it's over. Forwarded from Joni1Q7 on Telegram.
Through this one, and then, well, circle back. Baghdad and Erbil on the threshold of a historic agreement. Oil salaries and non-oil revenues nearing conclusion. We're going to talk about this at length after Andy. There have been some real breakthroughs since yesterday. I guess my sources were correct Monday when they told me to expect a big Tuesday. We will talk about that momentarily. But the big news is they are working out the mechanisms and even making a budgetary change to facilitate the HCL herbal and gas, or should I say the oil coming out of the Kurdish region process. Really cool. Well, we'll talk about it when we get there. We are witnessing external transfers of all major currencies with high flow. Banks are operating as sovereign international banks. I think this is a key piece too. And another interesting one, U.S. sends 3 warships towards the coast of Venezuela. Maduro mobilizes 4.5 million militia members. I believe there is some legs to the story that Trump is demanding the turnover of Maduro. This is going to get very, very interesting. And then we'll have some things to talk about with Andy. U.S. bankruptcy surging past 2020 pandemic levels. U.S. home foreclosures filings jump 11% with more than 36,000 properties. In other words, all the great things Trump's doing, guys, the fundamentals are still broken. Something we've got to remember as we go into all those. There'll be more to talk about, but that is your abbreviated news for those that won't have time.
Eldonado Trumpo posted on X at 5:24 p.m. August 19, 2025. No yellow fringe on the flag. Now that is a handsome man.
Brothers Technology Inc. on X. We're well over the biggest hurdle. All eyes on the CBI now. The rate is ready for unveiling. Zoom News. Breaking. All conditions for the production and export of Kurdistan region's oil have been finalized, paving the way for exports through Iraq's national oil marketing company, SOMO. The Iraqi Ministry of Internet cut off there.
This was forwarded, the first note was forwarded from Truth Warriors, Chris. He says, or was it just she? We are getting very close. Well, I hope so. Forwarded from JR. Brothers Technology Inc. on X. And he posted this 12:21 a.m. August 20th, 2025. BRICS nations are united. First Quark on X posted this comment. Russian embassy reports 90% of India-Russia trade payments made in rupee. I don't know how to say that word. Ruble. Yes, it's called a ruble. Alert. BRICS has been taken over the fiat. It's about flipping the system. Above, Mike Barra comments, there is still a chance we could be celebrating today. I really hope it's soon, but anyway, it is what it is. We just have to be patient. This was forwarded from JR. Before it's too late, Al Saadi calls on the government to send budget tables immediately. Just what I was talking about. Why haven't they sent the budget tables? 12 p.m. August 19, 2025. Can't send the budget tables until you have the official rate. Sudani has to wait until the states release it. This was forwarded from DB. Meanwhile, in Iraqi Dinar Wonderland, everyone waiting for the RV has finally realized it's not in Baghdad's hands, it's not in the IMF's hands, it's not even in Gandalf's hands. Which one is Gandalf? It's not in the Alliance hands, which means it all flips simultaneously. Tick, not a second, sooner tick. Until then, tick. Please enjoy the regularly scheduled oil crisis distractions. It always has been up to the Galactics for security issues, and they are in charge of the solar flash.
This was posted by Majid on X, saying, Iraqi TV saying, it don't make sense, brother. The Iraqi government is moving toward financial and economic reform. Remember a few days ago, CBI said the banking reform is adopted, meaning it was completed. Now their TV news channel is saying the government is moving from financial and economic reform. Now, this is really tiny. The Central Bank of Iraq announced the launch of the Guide to Assessing the Financing of Medium, Small and Micro Enterprises in cooperation with the International Agency for German Cooperation, GIZ, and the Association of the Iraqi Private Banks. The Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, Dr. Emma Khalaf, said in a speech during the launch ceremony of the guide, Iraq witnessed a multiplicity of parties in providing loans to the Central Bank of Iraq and through the National Lending Strategy by developing a guide that complements this strategy, allowing entrepreneurs to develop their business and be a mature and introductory destination for all loans and a new opportunity for easier access and faster. But it stops there. We do not have Wi-Fi. Talk to each other. Pretend it's 1995. Oh, will I survive without Wi-Fi? It's a difficult question.
The price of awakening. You will feel pain. You will doubt yourself 1,000 times. They will tell you that you are going crazy. You will lose friends. Your family will sometimes not understand you. People will hate you for no reason. You will develop weird habits. You will fight with your monsters, fear, ego, and ignorance. You won't care what they think of you. You will feel like you don't fit in this world. You will become terribly selective, and you will be left little by little alone. But it will all be worth it. No one lights up fantasizing figures of light, but making aware of the darkness that surrounds us and the Willis that dwells within us. The true spiritual awakening is not a caress, but rather a bucket of cold water. What good would it do you to caress your ego with whispers, fantasies, or longings, when what you need is a strong jolt so that you really assimilate what life is? The true spiritual awakening is a process of destruction. It's the crumbling of everything you are not. Forwarded from the professor on Telegram. So you are having a spiritual awakening? You lost all your friends? You can no longer work a regular job and your family thinks you are crazy? Congratulations! You escaped the Matrix. Forwarded from the professor. Post by Brian Harrison on X at 9:52 a.m., 19th August 2025. Texas Republican leadership has so far chosen to surrender to and not punish the rogue Dems. Worse, they're even rewarding some of them with priority bills. Texans are being betrayed by their own government. Jenna Ellis on X comments, so is anything happening in Texas to the demos, or are we all just moving on? I do hope people were not upset because I spoke in RPRN chat group. I am not New Age. I am Catholic, born and raised. I also taught catechism classes for 5 years. In the Catholic faith, we sign up to be Jesus' disciples. Jesus has taught his disciples to 1. Administer to the people, counsel, teach, answer questions, deliver messages from God. 2. Cast out the demons. 3. Perform healings. I do all of these things in his name. These things that I do, so shall you do. He has spoken through the prophets. The Bible was written by prophets hundreds of years later. If the chatters have a problem with what I do, then they have not seen my work and do not know my heart or story. I stand strong in my faith, and my intentions are true. I do not embrace anything dark. I am not a witch. I love his people because I love him. He gave me these gifts through that faith and because of it. I have seen his people healed. My strongest gift is the ability to look inside a person's body along with Jesus and tell them from head to foot every medical condition that they have so the doctors know how to treat them. My specialty is cancer healings. I have been more successful than not as a vehicle for his healing. In the Catholic faith, we petition the saints. Archangel Michael and Gabriel are saints. They help and protect God's people. If anyone wants to judge me and my mission here off of one live chat, then they have not done their homework. I do everything I do in Jesus' name. I do not care if someone doesn't understand. People pick and choose the word that suits them, but they forget not to judge. We must remain humble and remember not to be holier than thou. Posted by Jennifer Falla.
Universe, one song, one truth. Words cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Words are energy. Use them wisely. Abracadabra is actually from the Aramaic before Hebrew phrase avracadabra, which means literally I will create as I speak. The cells in your body react to everything that your mind says. Negativity brings down your immune system. Soul family are those that gather around you in your life, not connected by blood or race, but by energy and essence. They bring unconditional love and support at the perfect times and understand and share the same mission and purpose. For you, I am grateful. We are one.
Attention, please. Message from Wolverine. No matter where this blessing takes you, don't ever forget where you came from and how you got here. And never forget those who have been there for you, who have supported you throughout this journey. Soon we will embark into a new world that was promised to us by God. Do not ever forget what your purpose is when you cross over to this new world. It is not just about you and your family, for we are here to help humanity as well. Very soon, we will hear the trumpets of freedom, like the days of the pharaohs, when the Israelis all shouted with one word, freedom, and were led by their savior, Moses. And just like us, we have our own savior, President Trump, who will lead us to freedom. It is now time to pray and have faith that any day those trumpets will play and you will all hear an opera. God bless you all. Your friend, Wolverine.
When you retire and that Social Security check isn't enough to live on, old ladies having fun.